First, there were pictures. Then, there were moving pictures. Mickey Mouse first hit it big when Walt Disney released a short film, Steamboat Willie. Animation's come a long way since then. Pixar's Toy Story 3 was one of the Oscar nominees for Best Picture this year. Animators have to get their start somewhere. And as David Scott shows us, some very young animators are getting their start right here in Austin.
You may have noticed a trend towards 3D effects in the movies we go to see today. Well, these young film enthusiasts are learning to make their own homemade 3D movies. The idea is to provide the kids plenty of arts and crafts supplies, then let them create any kind of movie set they want. The characters and objects can be moved around by hidden wires or magnets. They got pretty creative. This one is called the Zombie Teddy Bears Apocalypse Invasion, set in a graveyard. How does Kiki explain that? What's the point of this?
There was no real point. We just sort of came up with it. We went through a whole bunch of ideas, and then we just decided to come up with this.
Kiki's partner in imagination, Sasha Werfel, thinks the whole project is pretty neat.
I go to a boarding school, so my teacher found out this place. And so I liked filming, and I came here, and I was like, oh, awesome, and I created this project.
You think you might want to make real films someday?
Yeah, I wanted to always be a film director.
The Austin Film Society, which put this on, believes it opens the students' imagination to boundless limits.
Because when you're a kid, everybody's always telling you what you can and what you can't do. And when you give a kid a bunch of craft materials, they can suddenly make their own world, and they can be the boss.
Not everyone came up with zombie teddy bears. Sky Brewster was more genteel.
Well, it's basically just kind of like an imaginary land where anything can basically happen, like floating rocks, floating landforms. Yeah.
How did you come up with that idea?
We were both kind of inspired by like Tim Burton and basically just weird, freaky stuff. So.
That's pretty weird and freaky.
Yeah.
When the creations are completed, they go to the film room, where they're shot in a 3D effect. Those films will be screened for South by Southwest patrons. Pretty neat. The moral of the story, you're only held back by your own creativity, and most importantly, your imagination. I'm David Scott.
If those young animators make it big, one thing's for sure, they don't have to leave Austin. Austin's Richard Linklater released the animated film Waking Life in 2001. Austinite Mike Judge created the television show King of the Hill, and I'll bet you remember these guys.
Settle down, Beavis. No, I won't settle down.
Beavis and Butthead will return to the small screen this summer. Mike Judge will do the voices for both of them, and Judge says, don't worry, they haven't gotten any smarter.